and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast, episode 142. We all love video game news. With me, George, as always, joined this week by RGT, investigative genius journalist to My Cook Report. How's it going?
Very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I think that intro is probably only for a very small segment, maybe of UK listeners. But for all those that don't, go Google the Cook Report. It's possibly the greatest thing ever. So, with all that said and done, let's get straight into it. The meat and the veg. No, not that. Or your Sunday roast, RGT. Just calm yourself. Odders, grip your knife and fork as we tear into RGT's meat and veg as I say, what you been playing?
Bit more Nino Kuni 2. Getting quite invested in that now. Yeah, really enjoying that. Great story, great game. Beautiful to look at as well. I've just got into this sort of casino village area. A lot of gambling sort of town. And it looks absolutely stunning. Like I say, I'm playing it on the PS4 Pro. I'm not playing it on the PS5, but still looks absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so really enjoying that. Been playing a bit of my hidden gem this week.
Midget gems, opal fruits, long lost sweets. What is you? I knew this song would die. I knew it would die. Tell me what is your... Down. No, that's far too easy. What's your retro hidden gem for the listeners this week?
So the original Xbox game, exclusive from 2001. You'd quite like it because it's naval combat.
Is it Blinks?
No, it's naval combat. That's
Bloodwake.
Bloodwake, yeah. Now Stormfront Studios.
Now there was a game called Battle Stations Midway, which was an Xbox exclusive. I'm sure that's what it was called.
Oh, okay.
And it was genuine naval and air combat. It was actually pretty good.
They call this naval combat, but to be fair, that's a bit of a loose term because there's not really a lot of naval about it. It's just fast speedboats and machine guns on the front. So I think they've just linked naval with boats. There's not a lot of naval to it. It's quite a
bit like a naval orange.
Yeah. It's mission based as you follow through acts. The story's a bit of a loose story, you know. There's no cut scenes as such. They're more sort of
is it sort of mid-aughts, like what are the cut scenes like? Is it all sort of angsty emo men?
Well, they're like hand drawn on a bit of paper, just with the voice actors over the top. They hadn't even animated a cutscene, but that's all. You know, I'm gonna get him back. They left me for dead.
Sounds like a UCP Christmas special.
Yes, very much so. That was very similar to your voice acting last week. That was that sort of voice acting.
What? Oh, crikey! Oh, that good. Wow. Okay, so it's a very high caliber of game. Very well acted.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, that's that action sort of hero voice. You know, it's very, very funny, very comical. But the actual game itself is really good. It's quite addictive. You're sort of between doing missions where you're collecting treasure chests and shooting down enemies. Say shooting down, it sounds like you're in a plane, but killing the enemies with your speedboat, taking out enemy camps and coming back, and you just sort of follow through the loose story. But it's really good, tight controls. Good fun, and you can pick this game up for £5, probably less if you keep your eye out for it.
That's what we call an opal fruit. One of your well-priced, you're well famed for now. 2 episodes into you picking a retro hidden gem. One was the Evercade, somewhere in the region of £100, including the games and all the peripherals. Now we're going for a £4, as long as you got the original Xbox.
Yeah, the only thing is it's not backwards compatible, so you can't play it on your Series X or your 360.
Get in the loft. Okay. Yeah. Dig around.
Dust off the big old boy. And and have a go on Bloodwake. If you see it, definitely worth it.
Okay. There we go. So that's your opal fruit. Yeah. Are there any other games you've been playing?
I did have a little potter about on the Nintendo Online on the N64. games on there. Just thought I'd have a little dabble, see what they're like. Because I mean, I've had the online servers, I haven't really sort of used it, so I thought I'd have
What does a
dip in
dabble
there.
look like in RGT's world?
Little dabble. That's sort of 10 minutes on 2 or 3 games. See what the emulation's like and that.
What was the
Yeah.
standout high point of said buffet of games?
I was playing Pilot Wings, and that's really good on there. It looks fantastic on the Switch.
Catching a whale mid spout on camera. What an elevating experience. I remember Pilot Wings when it launched, and I remember having a thoroughly just nice, chilled out time with it. It was tough at times if you wanted to max it out.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's not like tear away difficult either. It's actually quite
it's not like a deep
game.
sim, is it? That's sort of that crossover between being sort of quite accurate but not quite a full on flight sim. That's sort of that in between. But
not nice demonstration of the analog stick.
Yeah, and I played it. I played it in handheld mode, so I haven't tried it on the big screen, so I don't know what it looks like blown up on the TV. But actually, in handheld mode on the OLED, looked really good. Played really well.
Let's address the elephant in the room here.
Mm-hmm.
On a big screen, that's going to look awful.
I don't know. I'll try and let you know for next week because they've actually done a really good job with the emulation of that they do look pretty good.
I'm not going to deny it don't play well, and it probably looks nice on the little Switch's screen. But those textures wrapped across a whole mountain on a big screen. I want to believe.
Leave it with me. I'll have a look for next week, and we'll see what it looks like. If I come back and say no, I'm not playing that anymore, well, then it looks like a blocky mess and
looks like Minecraft.
Yeah, but worse. Minecraft on the Spectrum. But yeah. So anyway, that's what have you been playing, George?
Stand back, because video game podcaster plays video games in shock revelation. What did I start the week off playing? A little bit more of Shadow of War. So enjoyed playing that a little bit more on Sunday, I think it was. And then during this week, I've been playing some Chase the Horizon Express, the Ayrton Senna DLC, which is pretty much the same game, but wrapped up around Ayrton Senna. And it's not the most realistic recreation of his career, don't get me wrong. It's an Outrun style game that is deeper than that and much more controllable than that, but ultimately it's more the little facts and figures. You're not you're not recreating 1991's Phoenix Grand Prix or anything like that, that's for sure. And you're certainly not recreating one of his iconic Monaco wins. There's another fact. Although you drive around these places, they don't bear really any. It's like Domark released an F1 game on Mega Drive that was also called something else on Amiga, something like Speed or something like that. It didn't have the F1 franchise. Very similar to Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix on the SNES, and I think maybe even linked onto the Mega Drive into the screen sort of stuff. If it's in France, there's probably an Eiffel Tower in the background, even though that's probably 200 miles away from Magny-Cours or Paul Ricard or whatever they're racing on at the time. But no, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's more of an arcade game. Take away all the other stuff. Obviously, Chase the Horizon Turbo, whatever it's called, is still a frightfully good game in the vanilla career. But I thought I'd give this DLC a whirl. Somehow, somewhere, I've played this and got quite far in the normal one-player game, but my save never went up to the cloud. So when I pulled it down here, everything gone. So
that's strange.
I never had it on I'm playing this on PS4 Pro, playing it on there on that particular machine. I don't think I ever had it there. I always play it remotely, sign in onto other people's systems, that sort of stuff. It was just a quick throwaway game. So when I went to carry on with it, I went into the story or the campaign. It was gone. So I thought, you know what? Let's do something new. Let's do Ayrton Senna DLC. It's $3.99. I waste more on a coffee. So why not? What else have I been playing? Finished Detroit Become Human.
Ooh.
Spoilers, the only person that didn't make it out alive was Luther. I'm annoyed with myself about that because I like the big guy. And I think there were probably multiple ways to get him over the line. So, yeah, that's a shame. Some twists and turns in there, reference the girl at the end, which I kind of saw coming but didn't see coming, but were...
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you like video games, podcasts, and reminiscing? I'm actor, video game writer, and total sweetie pie Connor Savage McCabe, and on each episode of Call Me By Your Game, I sit down with a guest for an intimate look at a special game from their past. Did you and your dad beat Spyro the Dragon over the holidays? Or was Halo 4 the one thing that united your roommates during your senior year of college? Stories like these are what Call Me By Your Game is about. From video game content creator Janet Garcia to Hades voice actor Courtney Vinay's, I interview wonderful comedians and game industry friends about these memories. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and maybe someday you'll call me by your game.
Interesting.
I'll have to boot mine up again, and we'll compare. See which story we followed.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see. I played it like Mr. Clean the whole time through. You know, early on in the game, they say, "Oh, androids can't use weapons." So every time a gun got slapped in my hand, I was like, "No," because I didn't want the repercussion to be, "Oh, he just used a gun, therefore he needs shutting down," sort of scenario. So yeah, it
makes you think a lot. That game.
It makes you what? Think a lot.
Yeah,
agreed. But it's been very enjoyable. What else have I been on? So been on those ones. Obviously been on God of War. That's what everyone's tuned in for. What does he think to God of War? Enjoying it. Nice carry on. Obviously some years in distance between 1 and 2, obviously with the Atreus' age and everything like that. Game looks great. Looks fantastic. Is it making the PS5 melt? I don't sound ungrateful, but I doubt it. It looks great on PS5, don't get me wrong. And it's a great game. But is it melting the PS5? No, I don't think so. And I kind of just wish it was. Obviously, with the cross-gen.
It's probably held back a bit with the PS4
I would love
version.
to be able to do... I think, I can smell a show coming up. Cross-gen. What does it mean and how much is it holding it back? Because maybe... I'll do some research and find out that actually games development has probably just about peaked. And the only thing that we can do is to crank the visuals up. And at the moment, this is as far as we can crank them, even less than the horsepower of the console suggests in this type of game. There are prettier games at times. I definitely believe that. There were times where I was playing it where I thought, is Forbidden West better than this? Graphically. Really? Considering you can go anywhere and touch anything, there were parts of the linear traversal of God of War where you could see things that in a game like Horizon, you could just jump up, over, and go to. In this, it's very flat sort of pathways. Now, these pathways elevate in verticality, so sometimes you've got to get up to go over, sometimes you've got to go smash or burn to get through, but very much a journey, similar to probably other, PlayStation classics like Last of Us or whatever. But Last of Us 2 had started to incorporate a little bit more go where you want, do what you want, sort of.
Yeah,
within the narrative for sure.
They're like little mini open world maps, weren't they?
Mini open world maps.
They'd still guide you to that point they wanted you to go to. So I suppose it's God of War like that. I suppose is it? Ragnarok?
Yeah, and a little bit. I think a game that really nailed that feeling was probably Uncharted 4 when you got out with the Jeep. And most impressively was the DLC for Uncharted 4, the one with the 2 girls in it, which the name eludes me for now.
Lost Legacy
did a really great job of recreating that central section, saying go play.
Yeah.
So, is that what a God of War game is? No. Absolutely not. Should it ever be? Probably not. You need that tight narrative. Controls are rewarding. Again, I don't want to beat down on it, but sometimes when I'm playing in the DualSense, sometimes I feel in games, DualSense feels great. And then sometimes I feel a little bit like, This is doing no more than the DualShock would do if it was rumbling.
Mm.
And I think sometimes I want more of that HD rumble, like really specific bits where I can feel. I remember when the Switch launched with its HD rumble feature, and they alleged you could feel some ice in a glass as you span the controller around.
Yeah.
How many bits of ice are in there? Like, yeah, okay, gimmick, interesting, but had some feel to it. You know, it made you believe that you potentially could have been holding something with a couple of dice or a couple of ice cubes in it. So have we reached that level of immersion with the DualSense? No. It's a little bit more beholden to what I would call traditional rumble.
Did I use the adaptive triggers in there, or from what you've noticed?
Again, I'm sure if you did the experience side by side, you'd be like, oh, yeah, definitely. And there are times where I can feel the resistance in it. And I'm like, yeah, that felt chunky. That felt good.
Mm.
One thing that actually drew me into it more than anything is I'm quite far into the game now, say 9 hours. Things are starting to unfold. Some of the twists and turns, starting to unmap for me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying. I can see how I believe the game is going to pan out. You've got the 9 realms. I've been in 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3. I can't remember now. And, you know, it feels like God of War.
Mm.
And, that traditional feeling is probably one that lends itself to the game. But, I'm enjoying it. I want to feel, like I say, these are all sort of PS5 quibbles, really. Not that it's bad, but 2 years in, I want more. I want to see solder pouring out the front USB socket of the PS5. It's got that hot. I want it to be like, right, I cannot give you anything better than this.
It'd be nice to see a game now where you actually look at the game and think, yeah, that can't be on a PS4. That can't be on an Xbox One. You know, you need something where you're looking at it thinking, yeah, this is it. This is the next gen.
And that's basically what I'm wanting. Now, this is a great game. It's enjoyable. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to playing it through. But I'm really, really ready now for a eye melting game. 2023 has to be the year. Has to be the year. If it's not, then I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I saw a poll. It was like, who bought God of War Ragnarok? And people voted yes or no, and vast majority of people said yes. Then it was like, what format did you buy it for? PS5, PS4, which one? And the vast majority of people came back and said PS5. And I'm thinking to myself,
really?
Who's
I thought you were going to say PS4 then.
No, I was actually, I clicked PS5 because that's what I bought it on, obviously, and expected PS4 to be the lead number. And it might have changed now, but at the time it was almost like 95% people got it on the PS5, and then the sort of 5% of people were playing it on PS4. So
that's interesting.
If you have, I know these things are expensive. I know that, and I completely appreciate that. And my heart goes out to everyone who wants a PS5 who can't quite afford one, or can't afford one today, or needs to, much like I did when I was younger, have to go trade in their entire collection. And I'm not just meaning your last gen console. Everything a gaming tap that you've picked up had to be sacrificed at the altar of some no-named mom and pop shop to get a game, a demo disc and a console, basically. I know that. I know it ain't easy. But if you've got the money to one side and you can't get hold of one right now, tell me how and why you can't, because we need to address this. We need to report this proper journo style. So you might need to do it, not me, because I'm the Cook Report said. Why, where, when, and how have you joined Sony's mailing list? Have you gone on Smith's? Have you gone on Amazon? Have you registered your interest? One of the listeners, Digital Monkery, I believe, walked into Smith's. They had the Ragnarok deal on the shelf, physical or disc, bundle, on the shelf.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see on the internet. I say internet, I mean social media, so it's probably all just nonsense. Still struggling to get hold of a PS5. Like, why is Sony doing this to us? Like,
Well, I had an email from Sony this week saying they've there's another load you can buy straight from them. They've got stock in. They're there. If you want them, they're there. So
and non-scalper monies as well. So
my friend Joe, she done it that way. They Sony messaged her and just said, "Look, we've got them in stock. Do you want one?" She went, "Yes." Buy, bang, there you go. 2 days later, she's got it. So I think there is stocks there now. I think.
What are and they've sold more PS5s to this point than they did PS4s when there wasn't a massive global semiconductor shortage, which are at the beating heart of every piece of electronic equipment. So, unless I'm being dumb, unless I'm being incredibly ignorant, now I'm not. If you can't afford one today, fair play. I understand that, and that's painful, and it's upsetting. And I know everyone wants to be at the white hot edge of gaming. It's not like your Blu-ray player's holding you back from enjoying the film, but your games console can hold you back in your enjoyment of the next big game. I get it. And this cross-gen thing, it's working reasonably well. But now, as an early adopter and a supporter of the product, and this applies to the Series X that's here as well, someone needs to now melt these things. I want the PS5 to prove to me it can be quiet, because at the minute, playing Chase the Horizon Express or whatever else, the fan don't even kick in.
No. And I think there's enough PS5s out there now to justify making a big banging game. They'll make enough sales now. You could understand when, they weren't selling the numbers and there weren't quite the machines out there to justify doing just a PS5 game. But there's enough consoles out there now to make, something that really pushes that system now.
Yeah, I think an episode something along the lines of, current gen and autopsy. Where are they? How are they doing? The report card. How are these consoles doing now? What has been achieved? What's yet to be achieved? Have they delivered on the 8K? If you look at the box,
it says 8K,
and you don't know anything, you might think that they can do 8K 120 frames per second. But as we know, this isn't the case. And we're already back down to, let's face it, when the games come along that melt the Series X or the PS5, are they going to be 4K 30 frames per second jobs again? And that's the best we're going to get, because 60 FPS was going to be the new standard, but it doesn't seem like we can get 60 FPS ray tracing, 3D audio, and a current gen cutting edge game all in the same package.
I did see there was that report about the Series S, wasn't there? There was a couple of the developers were saying that they were obviously developing down to the Series S, because obviously you have to develop for the lesser console rather than, and then bring the game up for the others. And they were saying that was holding them back a bit. I think it was Square Enix had said, and some other developer I think had said. Quote me if I'm wrong in the corrections, but I'm sure that's who it was. And they were saying that was, obviously with Sony, the two systems are the same, just without a disk drive. But obviously with the Xbox, the Series S is slightly less powerful than the X. So that's that, and plus, with PC games as well, that's trying to get that happy medium of a game that can play on all. So whether that's the reason for the games being not melting the consoles yet, I don't know.
Well, I don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm having a great time with God of War. It's
good reviews on it so far.
Yeah, what I would say is it's very much more of the same.
Yeah.
Very much more of the same, but very refined, to a really nice point.
Yeah.
The story beats and all that sort of stuff fit well. Obviously, we all know the characters a little bit better, so there's less sort of that explanation sort of stuff at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, I am enjoying it, want to do more time on it. 8-9 hours, whatever I've done. I've seen probably the full turn of the wheel. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I got lost. We went on a massive rant. The thing that drew me in more than anything when I was playing it last night, because obviously I've now got a little bit further into the game and I've got combos and skills unlocked and stuff.
Okay.
is I can really tear into the enemies now, even the guys that might give me trouble at the beginning. But the actual, I'm playing it on the surround sound, and as you carve these guys up and flick them in the air and smash them back down, it comes with these really crunchy subwoofer hits. So it's like, boom, and you feel it in your chest. Like, oh, yeah. And admittedly, at that time, the pad's chiming in as well. So the whole experience is unified. The whole rumble and bass effect is all tied in together. You would get that with a rumble from a pad, but the DualSense has got that real chunk to it. But more importantly, the sound design with the subwoofer and the bass. And you get this from a soundbar. I normally play it. I set my volume to the point where I hear the atmospherics in the surround sound speakers as I would do if I was there in real life. So
nice.
bird level and wind. And that on my system is somewhere between 21 and probably 23, depending on the sound mix of the game. Horizon had a slightly quieter sound mix, but had nice broad spread, so you could hear everything within it. So it needed to be slightly higher. God of War sound mix is slightly higher, is slightly lower to get the same effect. Thank goodness, because if that subwoofer was, my teeth would fall out. But the crunchy physicality of the combat. Last night, maybe an hour before going to bed, I'd kind of got to this level where it was like, do you know what? This now gives me that physicality, swinging the axe around, like coming into your hand.
Yeah.
It's the stunning. And that's something here's me, what are we, I don't know, 30 minutes into what you've been playing, and all I've talked about is graphics.
Yeah. People overlook the sound for next gen as well. The sound has been, I play a few of my games. I don't use surround sound, but I play through a Pulse 3D headset. And some of them sound designs of them games are really good.
Definitely.
You can hear, and that isn't just, 4-way saying that's 360 and, 360 degrees. And it sounds absolutely fantastic on some of those. You can hear people talking. As you turn your character, it goes round your head. It's really good, really good. And we sort of overlook the sound design more. Everyone's on ray tracing and graphics, but, sound is really important. And they're doing good jobs on those.
I noticed that some of the when I play a little bit of retro, for one of we call it retro, I call it PS3. I call it the mother of all consoles. Those games obviously approach an era where everyone was getting, or the assumption where everyone was getting 3D TVs and 3D home cinema surround sound packages when they went in and bought the new TV or whatever. And at that point, DTS and Dolby Digital hit its sort of stride, and some of the sound direction in those games is as advanced as it is today. And those ones with the best sound design, their whole experience is completely elevated. It's night and day. And PS2 to PS3, the graphics improved, but predominantly we went from like a shared mix of like a Dolby analog to Dolby Digital, where an individual sound within reason can be placed individually between the speakers. Obviously it's not Atmos, so it all has to happen on the same plane, but when they're you can track a sound, as you said, as it moves around you, and the voice moves predictably from one speaker across the sound field to the next. It really pulls you in, and you forgive here's me. I want a game that melts the PS5. You can forgive a game that's got really good sound design. Like George, I think it's time you stop talking now. With that put to bed, it's time for the news. We scour the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up, cutting edge news as always. You come here for the white hot news, and I will tell you this is the best piece of news we're going to have today. That's probably underselling some of the other news, probably overselling this slightly. When will you understand Vita means life? American rapper Kendrick Lamar is in London for a 3-night headline show at the O2 Arena. But while the gig is attracting rave reviews, one fan, my spirit animal, is attracting all the limelight. A photograph showing someone in the crowd filming the concert on a PS Vita has gone viral. And
this was you, wasn't it?
I'm not as handsome as this guy. And it's certainly an amusing sight to see the handheld being held aloft in 2022. To be fair, old handhelds have been popping up at various concerts. I don't know how far we are into the show, but it's the first time my teeth tripped up my tongue. Increasing number of people popping up at various concerts of late. For example, there's been an increasing number of people bringing their 3DS to shows so they can capture the best moments in stereoscopic 3D. This is the first time we've ever seen someone bring a PS Vita along with them, though. We hope this specific gig goer continues to enjoy Lamar's set on Sony's handsome OLED display. Post your wild Vita moments in the Discord. We love them. Now, we have had some moments like this where someone, I think somewhere in the PlayStation, or maybe it was the Xbox official Discord, someone had taken a photo of something with their Vita, and I actually begged them to join the Discord. Mr. Lemon, I think it was, because it was like, you are now my god. Who is using a Vita right now in 2021 as it was to take a photo of something they're selling or whatever it was to post it up online? Who's doing that? I can imagine you taking your Vita with you. Maybe he's been on the train all day and he's like, play some games along the way. Brilliant. But that same thought process, be like, oh, wow, I'm enjoying this. Let's record it for posterity with this. And he's probably got a phone in his pocket with a 4,000 megapixel camera. And he pulls out the Vita. He's like, no, I'm dedicated to this. And that's how he's doing it. Have you, RGT, ever recorded a moment of prosperity on a older gaming peripheral?
I don't think I have, no. I don't think I have. I mean, I sort of, when I first got my Vita, I bought it on launch and sort of messed about with the camera for 10 minutes. And that was about it, and other than that, I just used it as a game machine. I didn't even forget the cameras are on there.
Why are you lying like this?
Why? I'm not
lying. We know that your wedding was recorded on PlayStation 2's iToy.
No, it was recorded on a PSP with the camera adapter plugged on. And then our wedding photos were done on a Game Boy camera. So we're all pixelated. Oh dear.
Wow.
I wish that actually had happened.
Your beautiful wife has never looked so good on a green screen, nor printed on
a beautiful little pixel face.
Broken dot matrix printer. I mean, wow. Basically looks like a receipt, your wedding album. Oh, Mum, Dad, what's this? I found this in the loft. It looks like a receipt for a trip to Asda. No, Squint, stand back a little bit. It's our wedding album.
Just roll it out.
So it is. The wedding video, viewable on a PSP, not really viewable on anything other than something like a 1x1 inch screen. Otherwise, it just looks like a mass of pixels. Wonderful. Well, nice to know that you're keeping up your end of the bargain. My failed relationship's not recorded on anything higher quality than pencil, basically. Didn't even dare to ordain them with a retro peripheral. Maybe the Xbox 360 live camera, not the Kinect. Well, no, in my life, it was a fever dream. It was probably just all recorded in the Kinect's heat vision. When you went into the settings and it was all green and like fingers like a heat map. I think that's how that is. It's probably how it's best remembered, to be fair. Has anyone else used classic gaming peripherals in their day-to-day? Does anyone ride a Tony Hawk skateboard to work? Did they fit wheels to it? Are they using that? Does anyone out there in America, a cop, say use a G-Con gun instead of his normal one? Has he retrofitted a taser into it? Is he zapping bad guys with a lethal enforcer pink gun? Is retro gamer boy Sir Mike Rouse heading to the shops with two holsters and a Mega Drive on his back and a lethal enforcer's guns playing? Pow, pow, pow! Pow, pow! Come on, Sir Mike, give him some infrared, buddy. Like, oh, yeah. So keep it on long enough, it might tan his finger slightly. Goodness knows. So, anyway, Vita means life.
Yeah. Right, next bit of news. Don't look, boy. God of War Ragnarok only released a few days ago. That obviously hasn't stopped some people from racing to the end of the game. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, just cutting in there, I noticed a lot of that on YouTube. But, the game was out for a day or two, and then suddenly it's coming up on YouTube, Ragnarok ending. And I'm like, how have they blasted through that game so quick? They must, suppose, have review copies, I suppose.
But as an aside, I found there's a sprint function in the game. Obviously, we know this.
Mm-hmm.
You can sprint, but it's a bit immersion breaking because obviously your followers fall behind you, so you hear them on the surround sound or very faintly in the stereo mix if that's what you're using.
Okay.
So you can literally just leg it from start to finish like Usain Bolt with a firecracker on his ankles. You can run around this thing. Does it break the immersion a little bit? It keeps the tempo up, yes, but yeah, I can see how people could have blitzed it even in the early days, and because it's similarities to the mechanics of the first one, people could have been finishing God of War original on some really high difficulty settings, come into this, absolutely whip snapped it. So I don't see it being impossible. It's 24-25 hours to beat in a rush, quickest time I've seen posted so far. But I think if you wanted to do the Valkyrie equivalents and other stuff, then you've really got to be putting the legs in. So possible, disappointing, but possible. Sorry.
That's all right. No. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but there is an issue when those players start uploading spoilers en masse to websites like YouTube. There we go. And now those YouTube videos, complete with spoilers, thumbnails, can actually end up being posted directly onto your PS5 and PS4. Many of you reading this will already know, but just in case, when you hover over a game that's installed on your console, you'll be presented with a range of related content. This hub usually includes things like any relevant DLC pages or trailers, but it can also throw things like live streams and YouTube videos into the mix. This can be especially bad news on PS5, where the system's dedicated Explorer tab will show you all kinds of stuff related to the games you've been playing. It's a real shame that this can happen, but there is a way to stop it completely, at least on PS5. In order to limit the games that you actually see through the Explorer tab, you can select the followed games option on said tab and then uncheck God of War Ragnarok or any other titles that you don't want additional information on. If you want to avoid the Explorer tab altogether, you can go to your PS5 settings menu, go through save data, follow games, managed follow games, and then unfollow from there. Dare we ask, if you've ran into any God of War Ragnarok spoilers through your own console, be careful out there in the comments, in the comments section below. Yeah, just let us know if anyone's had any of that. Just get on the Discord. Let us know if you've had any of those spoilers.
Don't spoil while spoiling the spoilers.
Yeah. Don't spoil the spoilers by spoiling with spoilers. But
good bit of information there, because a lot of people find that they get on PlayStation 5, they get 4 slots of things about games that they've installed and then uninstalled, Fortnite, Fall Guys, all that sort of drivel. It tends to end up living on your dash and haunting you for the next 10 years. Going into save data, follow games, manage follow games, and then unfollow the games that you don't want to see anything for either anymore or don't want to run the risk of spoiling. Go in there, clean yourself up. It's okay. And you will be shocked at some of the games. Obviously, they've all gone on there if you've not been in before. But you're like, oh my goodness gracious me, I'm getting information about this. I feel dirt. I feel dirty.
So does it automatically just follow games that you've popped in your console or downloaded?
I believe, obviously, as the PS5 and the PS4 have transitioned over and you're one of those people, you've had games installed and you've obviously got your PSN library, the amount of managed games or followed games will be shocking to you. So just clean it up, clear it out. Got to clear it up. Got to tear it out. There ain't no games in this whole world I care about. I said 1, 2, 3, don't spoil my Ragnarok. 1, 2, 3, no, stop. Discord. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Obviously looks like there's, by the way, based on what we talked about last week, that thin wedge of people that would be interested in the show, they're obviously not single. They're obviously not living in their mum's basement. They haven't fallen in love with the right hand just yet. I don't know what they're calling the right hand, whatever. I don't care. That's your personal relationship. But obviously these people, they don't come on the Discord because the influx of Discord users last week, to be fair, if I was working at a migrant centre and I had that many people across my gate, I wouldn't even turn in on Monday morning. I won't even bother. Papers, please. So if you're listening to this, and we know from the demographic of who's in the Discord and who listens, I'm taught. Yeah, you giving it the. I don't want to join the Discord as you drive down the A15 or whatever it is, B1186. I don't know, the back road to Chelmsford, wherever it is you are. Pull over. No, I know I give these demands all the time, and you're like, no, George, I'm busy. I've got to pick the kids up. I need to go to Tesco Express and collect my cat biscuits. Find the time. Pull over.
This is important. The kids can wait.
And I tell you one person that can wait. I say person, creature, that cat. All it ever does is eat. Wow. Food in the bowl. Eats the top 3 biscuits. Almost looks at you as if you haven't fed it. Put in another top layer of biscuit. He'll eat those. Always leave that thin meniscus of biscuit they won't touch. 30-year-old biscuit in the thing. Only eats the top 5 new ones. Like, no, add it to my pile. Are you ever going to eat those biscuits? No. Is that how a cat talks? If it could, it would.
Yeah, it would sound very similar, I'd imagine.
So if you're listening, pull over, download the Discord app. It's free. If it's the free thing that's freaking you out, we can charge you. We can charge you.
Yeah.
But we're good guys. We don't want to. Paywall don't exist. Don't make us put one in.
Yeah.
Because that creates that elusive value. And now all of a sudden everyone wants to pay for it. Don't make us make it paywall. We want to keep it free. I don't know why I'm moving my hand up and down like a spider and then a dead spider. I don't know what I'm doing. It's awkward that I say dead because this next bit of news paid tribute to the greatest Gotham Knight. This is full respect, so I don't know why I did that. Let's just rest my mouth for a moment to make sure nothing blasphemous comes out. Kevin Conroy. I hope James the Work Experience boys putting an effort in the edit suite today. That's going to look terrible. Kevin Conroy, renowned for his stint as Batman in both the excellent animated series and Rocksteady's Arkham series, has passed away. The star was 66 years old and died following a short battle with cancer. For many, Conroy is Batman. Having voiced the character for all 85 episodes of the award-winning animated series stint between 92 and 95, he continued to play the superhero right through to this very year, where he reprised the role for Warner Brothers platform fighter Multiverses. Warner Brothers confirmed the actor's death in a statement earlier today. His iconic performance of Batman will forever stand among the greatest portrayals of the Dark Knight in any medium. We send our warmest thoughts to his loved ones and join fans around the world in honouring his legacy. Actors like Mark Hamill, who starred alongside Conroy as the Joker, have led tributes to the star. Kevin was perfection, he says. One of my favourite people on the planet, and I loved him like a brother. He truly cared for the people around him. His decency shone through everything he did. Every time I saw him or spoke with him, my spirits were elevated. Rocksteady co-founder Jamie Walked added on Twitter, "You were not only our Batman, but one of the kindest and most passionate people. We will miss you." And the UCP would echo that and say our thoughts, what it's worth, but genuinely, our thoughts go out to the Conroys, family.
Yeah, great shame. Yeah, great shame.
Just on that, obviously, I echo everything they've said. For me, Batman, Adam West, all that sort of stuff, but the ones that stick with you, really, because everyone else has been so changeable, has always been that really great animated series. But when that came alive for kind of people that grew with it and then got a game of it that was sort of felt like it had grown with our age to match our time of life where we were at. The Arkham series, Arkham Asylum especially, just was a real special piece of kit. And Conroy and Hamill really elevated that again on another level, and thought that is that Conroy's greatest legacy? Do you think the Arkham series, or do you think that his greatest legacy will be the game, will be the series, or will it be a combination of all?
I think people remember him from, depending on where they heard him, really, whether that was on the series or the games, or I think it was a very recognisable voice, and he done it really well, and it's such a shame, be a big loss.
Specifically as well, in knowing of him, a voice actor as well, and again proven that if you're a good voice actor in the modern day, you can do anything. Look at the versatility of someone like Nolan North. We all know him as Drake, but when he plays that character, is it Bob in The First Last of Us, where he's that being a bit of a weirdo? It's amazing how versatile he's also Penguin in the Arkham series, some of the Arkham games as well. So,
Assassin's Creed he was in as well.
Oh, of course he was. Yeah, he was Desmond. So, these guys, they probably go a little bit under the radar because they're not on the front of Women's Weekly or TV Hits or whatever, but just as much of a legacy. And I think it's about time that maybe some of the bigger award ceremonies celebrated these lost faces, but ones that we all instantly know as soon as their delicate tones hit our eardrums. So sad,
definitely.
but it's irreplaceable, one would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, it's best you say nothing. As mentioned previously, the European Commission is embarking on an in-depth investigation of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and an employee at the Commission drew a lot of unwanted attention on Twitter this week. Taken to the platform, Ricardo Cardoso, deputy head of unit institutional and outreach DG GROW, stated that the Commission was working to make sure Call of Duty was available on other consoles, including PlayStation.
Including my PlayStation.
Including my... Oh, is that what you said? Including my PlayStation? Sorry, I just saw that. Including my PlayStation. Classic. The Commission is working to ensure that you will still be able to play Call of Duty on other consoles, including my PlayStation. Brilliant. As you can imagine, the including my PlayStation bit of this message was referenced by a lot of people in the comments as being a potentially biased take on the situation, which obviously isn't a good look. The likes of IGN's Ryan McCaffrey and Windows Central's Jez Corden also weighed in on his comments about ensuring Call of Duty would remain on other consoles, pointing out that Xbox boss Phil Spencer has been making it very clear recently that the franchise will be staying on PlayStation and potentially even coming to Switch. Here's what the IGN exclusive editor had to say in response, racking up over 2,000 likes in the process. Respectfully, sir, I'm not sure it gets any clearer than the head of Xbox's public statement on this matter from less than 2 weeks ago. It will still be on your PlayStation. Don't worry. Cardoso is certainly feeling the heat right now on Twitter, but he's responded to the backlash by confirming that he's not involved in the assessment of the merger and does not actually work in the department involved with mergers. To clarify, I am not involved in the assessment of the merger and don't even work in the department dealing with mergers. As is clear from my profile, my comments are personal and not a commission position whose decision will be taken on the basis of the facts and the law. Basically, then, this was just an ill-advised comment on Twitter from someone who isn't actually involved in the investigation, so don't take it too seriously. Sounds like an innocent mistake and nothing more. Share your thoughts over on the Discord. Please remember to remain respectful and constructive in the comments.
Before we move into the deep dive of that, have you ever put Mrs. RGT in the commission position?
Only once.
Okay, right. I mean, This new Nirvana album art is taking this whole show on a whole new level. But the commission position, I don't anyway.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's staying on PlayStation, potentially even coming to Switch. As people know, I don't really care, and I think Call of Duty is so far outstripped its original remit that it doesn't even resemble the game. Nor does it even resemble the initial idea that Call of Duty tried to embody, which was to put names behind the most normal of soldiers, to make the futility of war really hit home. Now, it's all about ziplining down while firing from the hip with an Uzi. Everyone's a super army soldier. And Joe Smith from Blackburn doesn't even get a look in anymore for his patriotic 200-yard dash up a hill, take of an emplacement, and bayonet stabs. That's not exciting enough because he's not breathing on air, doing a halo drop. I get off topic a little bit. I know it's a mega franchise. I know everyone needs to play it. I personally haven't played it for a long time, and it's so far removed from what I feel was the initial. And you can go back and research what the studio was saying about the game when it first came out, Infinity Ward. It wasn't this. But, money talks. Money talks. Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty Cardoza, I need you. Yeah. Hey, I don't know where all this is coming from. It's certainly better than Opal Fruits. Coming up this Christmas, the Unofficial Controller Podcast album.
No.
Yeah,
that'd be interested.
No.
Just give you a few espressos and just leave you to record.
A few espressos and a refreshers bar, and that guy's running around. He's literally walking on the ceiling. What a feeling.
Oh, no.
He's an espresso. He's dancing on the ceiling. Listen, it's all getting a bit playground. It's all getting a bit crazy.
Yeah, people are very...
What I don't understand is, if they've bought this and they want this on Xbox and it's completely their right, so be it. If you want to play COD, go get an Xbox. If you want to play Halo, go get an Xbox. If you want to play other games that Sony bring out, buy a PlayStation.
Exactly, yeah.
Which franchise means the most to you? X. Get down behind that. If Xbox want to blow all of Bill's pocket money on this and want it to be exclusive, who cares?
Yeah.
It's not the biggest game out there, or it shouldn't be. Glorifying war and all that, And war is terrible. Blood, guts, people crying for their mummy. It isn't pleasant. It's gross. Yet, single-handedly, Call of Duty's made everyone feel like they could join up the SAS tomorrow. These are two different arguments, but at the same token, will Call of Duty still be in memory in 20 years' time, or will it be a forgotten franchise? I don't know. They're already revisiting their old hits and having to stick Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2 on a game to get it to sell. One would say it's in its death now. Keep it.
That's strange, because there's other games that have tried to do the same thing, haven't they? Anthem and games like that, but they've never quite knocked Call of Duty off, have they? They still have that big following, people playing it.
I think what makes it big, that big following, is the whole. And I'm not just taking a pinch of salt here. I've got a shovel full of yard salt, and I'm dousing everything in it. But Call of Duty's real, innit? It's realistic. I'm not going to play any of those stupid shooters. I want to be a robot. I want to be a man's man. I don't know. I'm on the verge of turning into Bobo over here, but he isn't that. He's deeper. He's more real. Bobo Ober's going dark. So I don't know. I find this whole thing to be quite amusing. It doesn't matter to me, so I can just sit on the sidelines throwing in.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. People are very, very protective over the franchise, aren't they? I mean, that's you just need one thing to just like, he said, my PlayStation Online, bang, now on it, and you just think, calm down, calm down,
down. And to be honest, like I've said this many, many times, and I still believe it now. If Xbox want it, take it. There's so many other games, and tomorrow there'll be another breakaway franchise that everyone jumps on and forgets about Call of Duty. And it will be a distant memory. In a way, it's kind of happened with Fortnite and similar. And it won't be much longer before its relevance is gone. It's destined to the memory bin. It'll be on one of those Channel 4 shows. Like, what's your favourite memory of 2010? Oh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Whatever it was. Calm down, dear.
Yeah.
If they keep it on PlayStation, great. I mean, from Xbox's point of view, it's a cash cow.
Yeah.
Just milk it.
Yeah. There's a big audience on PlayStation, so why would you take it off?
Yeah. Well, PlayStation fans buying it for $69.99 probably pays for their Xbox users to get it free, or I say free, for a monthly subscription free on Games Pass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. If that's what it is, fine. Yeah. And if those people don't want to pay 60 quid, they can pay 120 quid a year for the game.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Odd. So be respectful in the Discord. Let us know your thoughts on that. Last bit.
It'd be interesting because there's quite a few guys on there playing it at the moment.
A lot of playing it. Warzone 2's coming out.
It'd be interesting to see their take on it.
Battlezone. The battle pass is out. Lots of great stuff. They do keep their fans happy. They're always, putting new bits of kit out there, bit of gun skin or whatever. But I think if a military veteran saw what his risking his life and his career had been boiled down to, which is, probably an Asda skin on his gun, and I don't know, McDonald's outfit, running around, skins and DLCs. Anyway, last bit of news. Let's take control. We've got confirmation. Remedy Entertainment is working on a sequel to the superb Control in the form of Control 2, and it's being co-developed and published with 505 Games. Now, that's a hallmark of quality nowadays, with the latter publishing the console version specifically. The game is currently in its concept stage, so a release date is a long way off. That said, we all know it's coming to Series X and S, PS5 and PC, and will be developed using Remedy's Northlight engine. Remedy announced back in 2021 that there were plans for a bigger budget Control game in the future, but at the time refrained from calling it Control 2 or revealing any further details. Today, Remedy's CEO confirmed that the aforementioned bigger budget game was indeed the project that's now being called Control 2. We're going to be waiting a while, but we can't wait to see what Remedy has in store with Control 2.
Did you play Control?
It's on my list of shame, and based on that, tonight as a palate cleanser, I might give it a whirl.
I couldn't get on with it. That didn't do nothing for me. Control. Everyone raved about it. It won awards, and I know quite a few people Discord played it. I played about the first 2 hours, and
I've been saving it.
Just did not click with me at all.
I'm a big Alan Wake fan. Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm a big Alan Wake fan, and I get.
Is that in that same universe? Is it in the same universe?
Very loosely, I believe.
Yeah.
It is, because there's something within Control, from what I've read, that confirms that Alan Wake is, and there was a DLC crossover that blurred those lines even further.
It. Yes.
I've tried to stay away, believe it or not, for a 400-year-old game, for spoilers from Control, because everything I've heard about it mirrors kind of where Alan Wake gets to towards the end of the game. It's all very interesting, and it's all very spectral and a little bit Twin Peaksy but exciting. And Control 2 kind of ran with that more from a governmental side of things. There were different rooms and departments that kind of shone a window into the events in Alan Wake. So I'm excited to play it. It's always been my sort of, I'm going to get to that on a rainy day, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. The graphics look great. The gameplay looks
very pretty.
My cup of tea. And again, kind of aping Alan Wake. I'm happy, and for it to get greenlit a sequel, good. Will I get round to playing Control before the sequel comes out? Fingers crossed. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
That's who am I? Podcaster. Maybe that's all the qualifications one needs. Community corrections. There's been some.
Yeah.
Nothing glowing, nothing massive. It's not as though I've just said something like commissionary position or something like that, commission position. Community correction for that. Actually, we'll find, George, that's a move you don't want to be doing. Like, oh my goodness. Community correction and apology forthcoming. And probably a message from the Conroy family. Don't ever mention our late husband stroke father on your mediocre show again, you reptile. Like, sorry, Conroy family, I do apologise. But community corrections, I think there was something on there about button mapping, X and O and A and B, backwards. And basically the bottom button should be yes and the right-hand button should be no. But in Japan, that's flipped. The right-hand button is yes and the bottom button is no. It is the switch. It's got A and B, but its positioning is the same. It's a very Japanese thing. But the UK, they didn't think us in the UK could get a head around that. So we got X for yes and O for no. That's fine, as far as I'm concerned.
Cross, as we should say.
Cross, it is cross, it is cross. Also, you said something about Minecraft and Burberry. X, it's cross, or so that's what started the whole button mapping thing off. So if you found that we've said something wrong, you know where to go. It's in the community correction section of the Discord. The question everyone's wanting to know is, did we miss anything, or do you have an opinion take on the news we missed? If so, RGT, how would the collected masses interact with us and let us know that you've got the greatest hair in the business, I've got the worst hair in the business, and they want to start a poll to make you the de facto guerrilla leader of the UCP uprising. You get my vote, sir. You get my vote.
You can email us at questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com, or you can DM us on Instagram or Twitter. Oh, and I know we have forgot to mention this week. We have a new partner for the show.
Is it time for me to do a song, or is it more respectful for me to leave that out?
I'd probably leave that out for now.
Okay. I just see him from doing some good numbers to going viral, and you just want just good numbers. That's fine. I'm backing off. Tell us about our new partner.
Our new partner for the podcast is Retro Replay Arcade in Norwich. Glenn, the owner of the podcast, the owner of the arcade, has kindly come on board with us. So a few of us have been there before and played the games. So I've met up with a few of the Discord guys on there. Great arcade in Norwich. Really worth go there for a day, because that's literally £10 and that's all free plays. You pay £10 and that's your whole day. You can go away, you can come back, you can just play in the arcade all day. It's fantastic. They do events, they've got consoles, retro arcade machines. Definitely give them a look. So they're going to be having a few of our leaflets and bits and pieces in the arcade as well. So we'll have to arrange maybe a little tournament or something up there too.
Wait, stop. I know it takes a while for my brain to kick in, but are you telling me this man would allow us to have a UCP summer meetup there? Maybe even record a show from there?
I reckon, yeah, that'd be brilliant. I mean, not only is it an arcade, it's got a gaming lounge in there as well. It's got a licensed bar in there as well, so you can have snacks, you can have a beer, you can play under consoles of choice, you can play whatever you want. They've got a retro little console room at the back.
Does he have NBA Jam arcade cabinet?
Oof, now you're testing me. Not sure. I'll find out.
Turtles in Time?
Discord.
Mortal Kombat 2? Yep. Terminator 2, the gun shooty game?
I know there's Haste of the Dead.
Operation Wolf?
Yes.
Sign me up!
Yeah. It is, yes. Definitely worth a visit. That's in the Castle Quarter in Norwich. It's really good. Definitely worth a visit. If you're that way or not far from Norwich, pop in and grab a UC leaflet as well. We're there.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what? If this relationship goes great guns, we'll even give him the fine honour of selling UCP merch from the place. The only place where you can walk in and buy a UCP t-shirt, mug and pen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well,
so
work with us to make this happen. And in the meantime, keep your ears peeled for exciting more news to come from our partnership, civil partnership. And just run them through all the details again. Have they got a Facebook page, Instagram, all that sort of good stuff?
Yeah, got a Facebook page. They're on Instagram, Retro Replay Arcade. They're on pretty much all the social medias. Just Google them. And like I say, that's Castle Quarter, Norwich. And if you do go in, and tell them that we recommended you.
Never has a finer example of a partnership been displayed in real life, and it's themed as well. It's not as though we're doing an advert for some sort of food supplement. It's not as though we're doing an advert for mattresses. It's not as though we're doing an advert for incontinence relief. We're doing one for a gaming arcade. Some would say that's a little bit too on the nose, RGT, but excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. It's about time the show had a partner.
Yeah.
I'm not talking the government body for monitoring illegal broadcasts either. Talking of illegal broadcasts, the man that only communicates in illegal broadcasts is at the bottom of the drive. This week, I'm hoping for a return for normalcy, if that's okay with the mulleted one. All I hear is pebbles on the back of a mud flap. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefriendle this week? These are the new release highlights for the week November 14th to November the 20th, 2022. Listeners, these are out in digital or physical, or will be. Oh, they could be by the time this podcast is in your feed, but they could be. The thing that saves me every week from a legal suit could be region dependent. Spring Star, wow, whoa! Look at the mullet on that. Sexy son of a gun. Has he fully formed for you, Voldemort-like? He's gone from embryonic creature with a mullet. Is he now fully formed in front of you? And if so, what's your Ray wearing? And what does he smell like?
He smells of like a mixture of Old Spice and tobacco. And he looks like an extra from Roadhouse. He's got skin-tight jeans on. He's got some god-sexy cowboy boots on. He's got a beautifully coiffured mullet and a muscle vest. He, honestly, what a man.
I have never, nor has he, ever been so eloquently described. I saw what could only be described as a smile elicit from his face. It's rare. The last time he smiled, Trace Ray stumbled during a shared bathroom experience. It's the only time he's been... Birth of his child, Ray? Nothing. Just dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
But you described him like an extra. You described him like an extra from Roadhouse. Never has been so much eloquence used on the show.
Sexy extra from Roadhouse.
Well, that's a thin air. We always say on a Venn diagram, there's only one man that can fit in that cross section, and it's the Ray.
Yeah.
Also, community corrections. Busy telling us about this. Busy telling us about that. But did anyone notice that we didn't pick a VHS last week? Nobody did.
No.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
Who are we going to blame? Who are we going to blame? Harvey Retro. He's the movie guy. He should have said.
He knows his VHS is his heart.
He should have knocked on the headmaster's door. That's me doing that. It's not actually him. It could be him. I don't know anymore. I've lost grip of reality. Harvey Retro, okay, should have said, I only listen to your piece of garbage show so I can get slightly nostalgic at whatever tat you pick out of his boot. Some of the picks lately haven't been that great, George. I'll be honest. But I've got nothing. But he did enjoy the show, though, so that means a lot.
Good.
Let's cut in. I'm going to reach into the boot. He's parked a little bit further away than normal. Bear with me. Games. Here we have Bound by Blades. It's on PC, but he's got a physical copy. Don't know how he managed that. November 15th. Bound by Blades is an indie action RPG with a focus on intense, and I mean intense, boss battles. Experience the thrill of boss rushes with the wholesomeness of a cozy indie RPG as you confront ferocious foes, thank God, collect loot, and craft epic gear to fortify yourself for the challenges ahead solo. Or in two-player co-op, baby. Thanks for that, Ray.
Right, let's have a
By
look,
the way, Ray, if you pull out any of these are a roguelite, we're done.
Right, yeah. Don't remember the roguelites. Right, let's have a look. What we got? Oh, Bravery and Greed. PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, November 15th. Bravery and Greed is a beat 'em up. Roguelike.
Ray! For God's sake, there's more roguelites in your boot than copies of One Night in Dallas. And that's not what you think it is.
Yeah, whatever. Dungeon Brawler for up to 4 players. Choose from 4 classic fantasy classes, engage in a deep, robust combat system, and play a variety of cooperative and competitive game modes with friends via local, online, or both. Get rich or die trying. Like that?
I did, yeah.
Had a little spin on it then.
This sounds like it's also come out from underneath the front seat of Ray, where he keeps his older movies. Edengate, the edge of life. PC, PS4, Xbox One, November 15th. It gets better from here. A gifted young scientist, Mia Lorenzen, wakes up in an abandoned hospital full of questions and precious few answers. What happened to her? What happened to the world? Explore the deserted city of Edengate and follow the young scientist's emotional journey as he searches for hope and solves the mystery of what happened to and the world in this roguelike. No, I'm joking.
No. Floodland, PC, November 15th. A society survival game set in a world destroyed by climate change. Oh, that's on power at the moment. Explore, scavenge, and build a city to unite the clans. Conflicting cultures and limited resources mean you have to make tough choices. Have you got what it takes to lead your people into a new era of humanity?
Right, just remember this. This game here, Floodland, water-based survival game. Just take that ditty, put it in your current consciousness, the work table that is your mind. I'll take this one. No, I don't want that. No, I don't. No. Army of Two. No. Pentiment, PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, November 15th. Step into a living, illustrated world inspired by illuminated manuscripts and printed woodcuts in a time when Europe is at a crossroads of great religious and political change. Walk in the footsteps of Andreas Mahler, a master artist who finds himself in the middle of murders, scandals, and intrigue in the Bavarian Alps.
Right, let's have a look what we got. We've got Somerville, PC, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One.
It did just sound like you'd shut the boot on Ray's hand there, but
sorry, Ray. Oh no, it's Wayne. Sorry, Wayne. Sorry. Oh God, he's howling. Sorry. In the wake of a catastrophe, you must find the means to make your family whole again. Somerville is a sci-fi adventure grounded in the intimate repercussions of a large-scale conflict.
Once again, Ray just dead behind the eye, staring through his basically wounded son.
Yeah,
but he's probably thinking he's come back from the dead once. Who cares if he loses a finger? It'll regrow.
Yeah. You'll be all right, Ryan. You'll be all right, mate. You'll be all right.
See, okay. So where are we at? This one. Some would argue that we're not taking this show too seriously right now. Siberia, the world before PS5, Xbox Series X. Let's open the clamshell, baby. November the 15th. It smells like a just released game as well. That sort of hot plastic smell that everybody loves. Embark on a quest for identity through time as you piece together the puzzle of two lives.
There's been a few of them Siberia games, I think, isn't there?
There has. Maybe this is a prequel. Who knows? It's the Phantom Menace of Siberia games.
Right. Let's have a look. We got here. We have Frozen Flame PC, November 17th, a challenging exploration and survival adventure set in the dying world of dragons. Only those who harness the power of Frozen Flame have the means to survive the harsh conditions of the realm and able to muster the strength to cleanse it for good. I went a bit dramatic then, sorry.
Frozen Pizza, a challenging exploration survival adventure set in the dying world of dinner ladies. Only those who harness the power of frozen pizza have the means to survive the harsh conditions of the dinner hall and able to muster the strength to cleanse it for good.
Actually fits, which is weird. That could be a game.
Anything could be a game these days.
Yeah.
And my example is this. Ray, what have we got here? A brand new copy of Goat Simulator 3 on the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and is available on November 17th. Pilgor's back! Gather your herd and venture forth into Goat Simulator 3, an all-new, totally realistic multiplayer sandbox farmyard experience. This next one is My Mummy Mummy.
You want to read it then? It's going to be your...
No, I want you to read it. Give it your best.
It's boring. My Fantastic Ranch, PC.
Hang on a minute. Did we have this last week? I remember saying something about a ranch and training unicorns.
Did we? I don't remember this last week. Did we have this last week?
Or the week before? Maybe the week before that. Maybe it was My Fantastic Ranch 2. I don't know. Anyway, I interrupt you.
My Fantastic Ranch, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Switch, November 17th. Train dragons and unicorns in your fantastic ranch. Take care of them and build relationships between them and students through riding lessons. Become the most famous ranch in the Enchanted Kingdom. Are you going to train some unicorns this week, eh, George?
Yes. I thought it was a game about making a dressing simulator, not the clothes, but the salad covering. It transpires it's not. So remember, we've had water, and now we have sand. Star Sand, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One. November 17th, Star Sand is a mystic survival game set amongst the dunes of an arcane desert. An open world full of danger, vast environments, and mysterious happenings awaits you. Explore, hunt, craft, build, and survive. Okay.
Well, this next one is My Mummy. A Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, etc. Spectrum, C64, November 18th. A series of standalone, branching cinematic horror games from the studio behind Until Dawn. Easy to pick up and play in short sessions, alone or with friends. The Devil in Me is the fourth game in the series and the season 1 finale.
Dark Pictures anthology. I think I played a little bit of Man of Medan, and that was about all she wrote, friend. Tell me your experience of the Dark Pictures anthology. Ray, you're just going to have to wait. Curiosity, much like they killed the cat, is me questioning about the Devil in Me. Just tend to your son.
I like the idea what they've done with those, with obviously watching everyone playing Until Dawn in groups, where it was actually a single player game. Then that gave them the idea for these anthology games where you pass a controller around, and it's good fun for me and Mrs. RGT to.
Is this all they do now, though? Because obviously they launched The Quarry, which was totally separate from the Dark Pictures anthology and something completely new, but same format, same way of playing, the whole bag of tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Is this them backed in the corner now, doing these games, or not?
Yeah, you'd like to think. I mean, there's quite a few of them coming out now. I think this is, probably, it's I think they're them sort of games where they're good when they first come out, and they're a little bit different. You know, that couch co-op where you play with your own character and pass the controller around. It's good fun, but I don't know how long that'll be before that gets old. If you know what I mean.
Mm.
How many can you make of those before people are like, oh, we've done this now. Let's move on to something else. You know.
One would imagine by the time they get halfway through season 2, she'll be about done. But I might be wrong. Out the boot next is Heidelberg 1693 on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, November 18th. Black magic in the age of pike and shot. Reload your musket after every blast in Heidelberg 1693, a challenging 2D action adventure set in a dark and twisted version of Germany in the late 17th century. Okay. This next one's probably actually genuinely my real mummy. What you got for us? The final one out the boot, sir.
We've got Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for the Switch, November 18th. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet are the first open-world RPGs in the Pokemon series. As you enjoy the hallmarks of the series, meeting, teaming up with, battling, training, and trading Pokemon, you'll be able to immerse yourself in a newly evolved adventure.
Now, RGT, darling.
Yes.
Darling.
Yes.
Before we let Ray slip away, what's your mummy VHS pick?
I'm going to go with Running Man, I think, this week. I'm going to have that, please. Ray?
Nice pick. Ray's been renting this out since it launched.
Let's had some use that cassette tape, the VHS tape, I should say.
Okay, and on that note, I'm picking Apollo 13. No spoilers, Ray. Let's find out if 13 is NASA's lucky number. Exactly.
Nice.
Hang on. He was here, and now all I'm doing is quaking with a copy of Apollo 13 on VHS, and he's gone. No whiff of petrol, no cloud of exhaust dust, just a few pebbles just almost look like they're being dragged backwards through time and filling the hole where the tyres once were. It's a strange experience and not one I wish from anyone to experience because it sends your mind a little bit crazy. He's gone. Odders is eating a Sunday roast. I don't know what he's doing. Who's with us? Bo Beloba can't be with us, so he's got someone to listen on his behalf. Tell him if he gets mentioned. This will be the third time. Rose Space Monk's fallen asleep at his desk, writing up some tale of whatever else. Elliot's mum, thank you. The cakes were fantastic. And we really appreciate listeners like you. The question on those four people's lips is this. What are you hoping to play, RGT?
Got a couple of new games delivered this week. So I got Harvestella on the Switch by Square Enix to dive into.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And I also got, it's on sale. I don't think it's going to be very good, but you know, I'm like, I bought it anyway. I got that Grid Legends.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, that the price of that is dropped like a stone. So now EA's taken over Codemasters. I would imagine that will be guff. But it was 17 quid for a PS5 game, so I thought, give it a go. See what it's like.
I actually omitted from my what you've been playing Ancestors Human Origins. As you can see by the fact that I didn't mention it, and I'm only remembering now I downloaded it. That game, I've waited years to play it. And I don't think I'll ever play it again.
Really?
I probably need to give it a bit more time. I just found the whole, like they purposely give you very little information to make it as hard as possible, to make it feel like the grind, okay? To make it feel like life. It's tough. It's hard. Evolution in this era was damn near impossible. Nay, very difficult. If I go rescue a baby, I don't want to have to then run around for an hour trying to find my way back to the camp. I then don't want it to be so impossibly difficult to be able to make a sleepy area where I can bed down for the night with a collection of leaves. Like, how do I collect leaves? Where do I put sleepy sleeps? Someone help me out here.
Is it confused?
So minimal HUD, minimal tutorial. Want to make it difficult, also educational at the same time. Fair play. I probably need a little bit more Georgie quiet time to make the most of that. Yeah, so there's that. Park that to one side. Anything else that you're hoping to play?
I'll definitely be playing more Ni no Kuni 2. Loving that game. So, yeah, I want to get some more hours into that. But, yeah, mostly I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into Harvestella.
Is it available on other formats or at the moment only on Switch?
Only on Switch at the moment. It's another one of the Square Enix. I mean, they're knocking these sort of, well, quote, budget games out. They've done that. They've done like those. They've done Triangle Strategy, didn't they? They're doing that Valkyrie Elysium. It's quite a few they've done, haven't they? But they've all been pretty well rated, and I've played a few of the demos of their games, and they're really good. And this Harvestella just seemed quite interesting to me with that farm and sim stroke RPG to it, elements to it. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna give that a go, and I need to play something, again on my Switch. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be playing this week. So what about you, George? What are you hoping to play?
God of War, Ragnarok. That's going to take the bulk of what I'm doing. Detroit Become Human. I'll finish that on one playthrough, so that might have to fall by the wayside a little bit. Mainly just need to chunk through Ragnarok so I can offer my opinion on the show. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I've had some minor gripes, at the start of the show, but they're minor, really. If we take it in isolation, it's a good game.
Yeah.
My sort of current gen, next gen, previous gen comments aside, there's still an absolute gem in there and enjoyable. There was a section in it last night where I actually played as Atreus instead of Kratos and Atreus. So you break off. Spoilers. It's only a small spoiler.
Yeah.
But the way you play as him and the agility that's afforded to you during that moment is great. And actually,
sounds good.
As I was playing him, I was thinking, there's actually something, maybe because it's different, but there's actually something quite rewarding as playing as him. Just from a control point of view, it felt light and dainty, whereas Kratos has got weight and heft. And you could feel that in the way the game managed the two characters' interactions through the pad. So that was, was interesting.
Clever. Yeah, that's clever.
As for that, maybe a bit more Shadow of War, Mordor, whatever it's called. Who even knows now? I know my voices went down absolute gangbangers on the Discord, or not, as the case may be. And that's probably a bit more Chase the Horizon as well. And I just need to uncover. I keep thinking about. I've played vanilla Horizon Zero Dawn, and I've played obviously Forbidden West, but I've never played the snow level Frozen Wilds.
Frozen Wilds, yeah, the DLC.
So I'm quite keen to have a rip through that. I'm also kind of debating whether to start the Ghost of Tsushima DLC as well, just to give me a little bit of fun or something different. But I quite fancy having a PS3 palette cleanser. And I was looking at my Jin and the Forsaken, and I was like, no, that's not the one for you right now. So I just need to find something a little bit smaller and a bit different to Ragnarok, just to have something else to go on because there's been a couple of times where I've hit sort of enemies that aren't impossible, but you get one pixel away from killing them and you're dead, and it's like I don't really know how many more times I can tolerate this without going insane. So have a break, watch a bit of YouTube, come back, do it first time. But it'd be one of those things where if you stayed in it, you'd be getting owned, and your frustration levels go straight up, much like our Discord numbers after this episode. Poof, stratospheric. You don't know where you are. You don't know what you're doing. So yeah, just all that really. And I don't know why. I do not know why. But this time of the year, the PS2 also tickles my scrotum sac. That's a scientific name for it. So that's legal. Okay. Not that the PS2 grows legs comes down and does that to me.
It would be quite disturbing if it did.
Yeah, and if you're a listener and someone's doing that to you that you don't want them to, that's not okay. Okay? Invite only. You know, it needs to be okay with everybody. But the PS2, it's got carte blanche on me, can do what it wants. Normally offering up some sort of strange cash-in movie title from 400 years ago that vaguely has me interested. Batman Begins or whatever.
Mrs. RGT, she's into a PS2 at the moment. She's Jack and Daxter she's playing at the moment, so bless her. So yeah,
in the commission position or some other kind of position?
Depends. Sometimes the back plays up, so it just has to be normal. But yeah, if she could do the commission position, she's all for it.
That needs to be merch. I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah,
but we need like a Kama Sutra page for the commission position.
Well, what I'll do is next time she's playing Jack and Daxter in the commission position, I'll just drop it on the Discord and you can all have a look.
I think the commission position should be someone in a lazy boy, just sort of slowly swinging Mike Rouse's pink Lethal Enforcers controller. So to anyone who thought he was a little bit naughty, not at all. It's basically an aged retro gamer, not that Mrs. RGT is, but she can assume the commission position.
Yes, yeah.
Should we make him, for legal now, I'm thinking we ought to make him the commissioner. So Mike Rouse can be the commissioner of the show, and the commission position is someone slumped in a lazy boy, swinging a pink Enforcer controller in their left hand, holding a cup of tea or similar beverage, maybe beer if you're age appropriate, in your right hand.
Yeah, definitely. That would be amazing. Okay. I need that on t-shirts.
The fact that she's playing a PS2 game while holding a game from an aged 16-bit console and an alcoholic beverage. The fact that she's doing well in was it Ratchet and Clank or was it that Jack and Daxter? Sorry, they all blur into the same in my mind. These great games, they all blur into these two duo platformer games: Banjo-Kazooie, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, Knack. Knack is here for a snack.
Yeah,
he eats quite a lot. That guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how much Knack eats? He's got a voracious appetite and a very mediocre game.
Yeah, got a second one.
Yeah, when you're the boss of PlayStation development, even you can get a dog poo greenlit.
Yeah.
saying that though, my kids thoroughly enjoyed Knack.
Yeah, I played with my daughter when she was younger, and that was good fun playing with her, so I remember it for that.
We can't always have big grown-up games if we want gaming to continue as a hobby. We need to invite younger people in, and younger people they don't want to, or they're not allowed to play some of the bigger boy games. So, yes, it's easy for a grown-up podcaster to deride Knack and its sequel, but at the same token, they're all right for the people that they're aimed at.
Yeah, definitely.
Fisher-Price, my first trophy. Although if a kid's managed to get the platinum on Knack, I'd off my cap. Here's the microphone. I'll see you in a bit. Anything else to impart with us? Why don't you just let the people that stuck around and listened one last time about our partner, Retro Replay?
Yeah, Retro Replay Arcade, Castle Quarter in Norwich. Go and give them a look. Brilliant fun. If you can get a group of you to go, even better. Arcade machines, gaming lounge, licensed bar, retro consoles, you name it, they've got it. Give them a look and tell them UCP sent you.
That's not the wound cleaning product. You misheard me. The UCP sent me. Do you think we should incorporate the into it so it's TUCP so it really does sound like Tomcat's piss? Because is that Swars? It's a very low-level swore. So I'm checking with legal.
Yeah. Put it in a Discord. Do you think that's a swore or not?
They're sweating, but a thumb came up from behind the counter. He says that's fine. If it had been funk or if it had been shift,
yeah,
your face. Oh no!
I wondered where you're heading there.
Or we could have covered this whole thing in pass. It swear like the guy, swear like the French policeman from a lower low and get away with blue murder. Yeah, blue murder. Well, one would imagine that's the end of the show. It's been absolutely enjoyable to record with you again. To those that are listening in for Bobby, so there's a very small demographic of people that have listened to the end of the show, but I know you're all very, very worried about where he is, what he's doing. It's okay. He's nursemaiding his beautiful wife. She's now ill with what he was ill with, so we wish them both the absolute very best.
Yeah, get well soon,
and let's welcome the American stud back to us next week so we can rejoin the trifecta. My much touted day off. Not looking like it's ever going to happen at this rate, with you and him going down like flies every other week. So that non-George episode's never going to happen. And I believe on that sweatshop-style podcasting bombshell, that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time and look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. Remember, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, RGT.
Good night, George.